Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to number 3 ink in the Viewer's Choice 3 series. Today we're doing a shimmer ink, and I'm going to try to have you be able to see that. It's got silver shimmer, and it's the Herbin. I'm going to try to say this. Kyanite de Nepal. I tried to, write it out the way the Google lady says it. It's tough though. I don't know that it will come out right off of my tongue at all, but it is a beautiful turquoise shimmer ink with silver shimmer. And I ordered the samples from Goutlet, and this is what happened. They didn't come empty. I ordered 3, so there were 6 mils, and this is all I have left because I started writing to pen pals and I just love the ink. So, okay, let's get it into the bath test. I want to make sure we don't forget the essentials here. And we'll see what happens with that while we're talking. All right, there it goes. Ooh, that's pretty. It's lifting a lot of turquoise ink, though. Okay, let's let that go over there. And we'll get in the Rodya Gold Book. And here it is. Now, it's going to be a little tricky, but see that shimmer? I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's got a red edging effect. Ooh, it's just got beauty to it. And here it is in the broad nib, and then all the rest is in the fine nib till we get all the way to the bottom where I'm playing around with dry times. Okay, I only listed one place. It's available everywhere practically. It's new and widely available, but because of the region I live in and the pricing and the quickness of shipping, I think for me, Vanessa 1938, their website would be the best place to get it if I was to get it. $28 for 50 mils. I think their samples were out yesterday, or well, let's not go by that because by the time you see this, it could be a day or two later. But availability, you'll have to check on it with your favorite retailers. Okay, so it's shimmery, it's turquoisey. The camera with this paper wants to make it look darker blue than it is by a little bit, but I think we're going to see a good representation overall as we look at all the different papers. It's just a real flowy ink, and if you're familiar with Herbin inks, they're real high quality inks. They're well behaved and they clean out of the pens well. So for instance, my Herbin Amethyst de Laurel, it's one of my favorites. It's my only bottled ink. It's a dark purple that is a shimmer. So I don't go around buying shimmery inks, but this one really did impress me. I love it. I wrote down it's smooth, flowy, and shimmery. I purchased during Goutlet's sale. Yeah, that's why I bought 3 samples. They had it on sale, and I knew I was going to want enough to write with to make a good determination. So then here's the chromatography. It's very straightforward. Goodness, it moved quite well, just kind of like it did when we dunked it. And you can see a little bit of shimmer left behind there, but not much. And then it goes up to a darker blue. So that was very interesting. Now, dry times on this paper are going to be way different than Tomoy River, because I did write pen pal letters on Tomoy River paper this weekend, this past weekend with this, and it took a lot longer to dry, but it was really fast on this paper with both nibs. It was still wet at 3 seconds, but it really didn't take very many more seconds to dry on this Rodya. I was shocked. But don't expect that on Tomoy River paper. It will take longer. Okay, let's see. Oh, I meant to say that this ink got 9 votes. So there was a 3-way tie between the Kyanite, the Diamine Earl Grey, and the Diamine Steel Blue. So that's where it was at. It was pretty popular. A lot of you wanted to see it, so that's good. Just a quick glimpse into my currently inked. I do have this in a TWSBI Go. And I just thought, wow, even on this paper, it was just a shimmer monster. Really pretty, a lot of shading. And this is a toothy kind of paper, if you're familiar with it at all. Here is Mormon Spiral Note, available at Daiso, the Japanese dollar store. Let's see. Here we go. I think we're going to see quite a bit. It's really impressive when you paint it on and you get red edging and you get all that silver shimmer. This is just a personal preference, but I do prefer silver shimmer over the gold one, and I don't know why, but that has proven all the 3 years that I've been back into fountain pens. It looked nice on here. I put down good. I saw some shading in the broad nib especially. And it just, in certain light, it's really difficult to get the shimmer to come out in the lettering, but it does come out. It's just a matter of getting the light to sparkle on it just right. And we get that off and on if it's just right, so. Okay, let's see. Next one is our trusty CVS Caliber 4x6 notebook. And this expensive ink was just as at home on this paper. I was pretty shocked, actually. Got a nice red edging around it and tons and tons and tons of shimmer. Some good, what I would call shading, or at least variation in dark to light in the writing. Very nice. And it was good in both nibs, flowy and shimmery, I put down. Now that's amazing on that paper, I really think. Good grief. Okay, let's get right into Leuchtturm. 1917 dot grid, more or less a pocket size. And you can still see the shimmer there, but it's a little harder to catch up with. And it's just a nice turquoisey ink on this paper. Just really pretty. And this paper, of course, loved it. It just showed up nice and dark and didn't lighten at all on there. I wouldn't have expected that. I put a smiley face, so. Okay, the painted on part bled through a little, but I wouldn't ding it for that. Okay, let's get on to Clairefontaine. This is a little pocket-sized one. That's making it a little easier on me to do the samples. Tons of shimmer. It sits on that paper and looks gorgeous. I see a lot of shading there. I think you could even catch that. It's just looking really nice. Nice and dark in both nibs. This is a high quality paper, the Clairefontaine. It tries to seep through. It doesn't do a really great job of that, so that's wonderful. That's what we want usually. Okay, and now let's, ooh, I almost missed that one. Let's go into the two Tomoy River sample papers. This is the 52 GSM. This is a little Birmingham one. And oh boy, did that swatch ever impress me with the red edging and lots of shading within the painted part. I could look at it all day, so. And then I think really the Clairefontaine and the Tomoy River paper are the best for this ink. It just, I saw red highlights, which are tough for me to show you with my camera equipment, or lack of, but it does, like the dots and the tops of some of these letters, and around these, what do you call them, hashtags, you see a lot of red. So that is just wonderful. It gives you a very unusual look to your writing. I just loved it for pen pal writing. I have it in this pen, as this is the TWSBI Go with a fine nib, a broad nib, and I also have it in the Serendipity, which is my standard review pen. Now let's keep this here, and we'll get out the Live Notes by Pen Gallery. Okay, this is Tomoy River paper 68 GSM. Tons and tons of shimmer and beauty there, all that silver beauty. And it's, it's actually allowing that shimmer to come through a little better on this paper. I like that. And you might make a note of that too, because it just was gorgeous in both nibs. And I purchased samples, 6 mil total from Goutlet Pens. Boy, it just isn't, it's not even safe with me. Like in the same house, I had to hurry up and do this review before I used it all. I mean, literally. And that doesn't happen too often. Every once in a while it does. Okay, it seeped through. Let's compare the seepage. I don't know. Okay, so it was pretty equivalent, the seepage through there. But let's look at the front sides of it. Okay, 52 GSM, and then over here, 68 GSM. Very nice. Very nice, and it is appearing darker than it is to my eye, so you need a sample for sure. But I say that anyway, because no matter what it looks like, even if I could get it exactly the way my eye sees it, you do need a sample, is my opinion. Okay, we have 3 more. We have Rodya dot pad, 80 gram paper. There's the little swatch there, and just straight up nice on this paper. Nice and flowy, no dryness issues at all. Let's see if anything went through. We have to look at November rain on the back because I hate to waste this expensive paper. No bleed through whatsoever, and very little of any sort of shadowing. Not enough for the camera to even show you. So that was very good. And then Hewlett Packard Laser Premium 32-pound paper. We got some shimmer. No, you lose the red edging, and you lose some of that shading detail that you got on the Tomoe River paper. But it's nice turquoisey ink, and it just looks so nice. But it's too bad it's darkening it by a couple of tad there. Okay, no bleed through. This is our last paper sample, Georgia Pacific 20-pound copy paper. Boy, I'm seeing feathering even with the Lamy fine nib. Huh, interesting. So it's a real flowy ink. We get some shimmer. We don't get a lot of, or any red really, and we don't get a lot of variation in the swatch. But there's quite a bit of annoying spread, or you could even call it feathering, because it certainly makes the line wide. And a little bit of, well, it doesn't actually bleed through. It dots through just slightly, so it's just a heavy ghosting and, you know, kind of a little bit annoying. Not so bad though, especially if you're only using one side of that paper, you'd be fine. Okay, next is, let's look and see how the water test is doing. Wow, that's not very visible. You'd have to work pretty hard to recover, you know, to see that. Not to, you can't recover it, but you know, it's going away. You could barely see just a little bit, and I'll be really interested to see what it turns out like after. Usually we can tell, like yesterday's, I happen to have right here, the Birmingham boysenberry. Well, I say yesterday, the last profile I did, you can still read this, but you lost all the ink. And that's totally different with Kyanite. I really am not used to pronouncing that. Okay, here is the panel. We're going to compare some other blue inks. We actually, on this panel, have 3 shimmer inks, and I wanted to call your attention to those. So this is today's ink, the J. Herbin Kyanite. Kyanite. Okay, I seem to be able to say the first part, but not the second part. So this is, I got the silver shimmers, and then Diamine Arctic Blue right next door here is also got some silver shimmer and a little bit of red edging that even comes up, kind of a sheen that comes up even on this. So then up in the right hand top corner, that's Diatramenous Pearlescent Cayenne Gold, and that's a shimmer ink with little gold flakes in it. Let's see if I can show you a little bit at least. Okay, so we do have some, you know, inks that are in the same, you know, classification. These 3 are shimmer, and they're in that blue kind of family that is close to each other. But what I noticed, what really made me happy, was how close this is to Noodler's Navajo Turquoise. It is, if you don't like shimmer, or you don't want to buy another ink, or any of those things, Noodler's Navajo Turquoise is a very comparable ink. In fact, let me pull out that currently inked, because I did, yeah, okay, and it is going to look different on here, I can see already. Especially the painted on part will look different, because you're not dealing with the shimmer. But if you just looked at the letters, there's a difference. You could see a little more of the turquoise in the Kyanite, and then in the Navajo Turquoise, you know, you're seeing a little bit darker in your lettering, but it's gorgeous. And those are 2 exact same. They're broad TWSBI Go pens, and I wanted to see them kind of in action together to kind of determine, you know, how much different they would look. And there's not a lot of difference in the surface, but when you're writing a special letter and you want it to shimmer, well, you really can't beat the, you can't beat this one, as far as I could tell. Now, just for comparison, the little bit lighter Pilot Iroshizuku Konpeki is down on the bottom right. And then I was quite amazed at how similar Robert Oster Blue Water Ice looks, on the surface anyway. We'd have to dive a little deeper. And theirs do seem to have nice shading, edging, and effects. So that would be interesting to study that closer. Okay, whoops, I messed it all up again. Okay, and then Robert Oster Soda Pop Blue is another one that's sort of a contender in that area. Let's see, what haven't we talked about? Lamy Turquoise is quite a bit lighter, but it's there for you to kind of see and compare. Let's see. I've got a few others over here while you look at that. Okay, this is Pelican Edelstein Topaz, and it's a great deal lighter. So there's that. And then, wow, I was surprised that Tasha Sora looked so much lighter. Good heavens. And even, okay, Robert Oster Torquay, same thing. That was in that lighter family, just so that we can see that. Oh, here's one of my favorites, but it's way out of there. Diamine Aqua Lagoon. You know, it's got more kind of green in it, blue-green, rather than being a turquoise, so. And I couldn't find one, and I decided not to hold up the works because the rest of my week is going to be super busy. I couldn't find KWZ Hawaii Blue, the actual water panel piece, but I just can't afford to hold up my process right now. I've got some other work to do this week. So here's KWZ Hawaii Blue just on a Kohler ring index, and I am interested in the fact that there seems to be a little bit of a similarity there. Of course, it's not a shimmer ink, but it's one of those nice saturated colors. It's got some red sheen, and that is very hard. Oh yeah, okay, there you go. You could pick that up a little. So in bottle form, I also have Diamine Florida Blue, which is way, way lighter. And let's see what else. Oh, well, Navajo Turquoise is another bottled ink that I have that's similar. And I feel like, yes, you would be happy with that. If you like the color, if that's what you're looking for is just color, you could go for that, I think, and be quite happy. So, seems like there was something else I was going to say. Hopefully it'll come to me. Let's look at the visual journal while I'm wondering what I'm forgetting. Okay, so this was not real impressive. We got a little shimmer that landed on this little sort of spiral here. That was pretty. But for the most part, we're seeing here what we were seeing in the water test. It sort of has a vanishing act, or it moves around enough that it doesn't give you really much time to go ahead and solidify your detail. So, you know, I've got shimmer up in there, which is kind of pretty. It's not that it lacks a beauty, but it definitely isn't as suitable for detailing in the Nick Stewart technique. So there's that. Huh. Okay, I never did think of what. So maybe I already mentioned it. I thought the most exciting part was how I was like an ink vampire. I mean, I've never seen myself do that before. Not that quickly. I mean, we're talking about Sunday. Sunday I was sitting there with probably something like 11 letters in my reply pile. And I loved this ink so much that I just kept writing. And actually yesterday and the day before, I was down to 0 in my reply, and now I have 4 because I got new mail, new pen pal letters. But it was because I loved writing with this ink so much. And that taught me something. It was like, wow, maybe I'm just not taking the time to, you know, ink up a special pen, or maybe I'm just trying to finish fills and I'm ho-hum. Maybe that's why I let 11 letters pile up, because that's not like me either to do that. So definitely I was impressed with this ink. What do you think? What do you think about it? Shimmer inks in general are not something that I pursue, but because of ink flights and my interest in bringing you ink profiles and reviews and that kind of thing, and pen friends sending me samples, I do have quite a few samples of shimmer inks, and like I said, just one bottle so far. But it's interesting whenever I find one like this that's just so much fun, you know, to write with. And the quality of this ink is amazing. But I'm not an ink salesman, so I don't know why I keep going. Okay, let me give you the next one in our series, and let me just verify it with my little, I had that card that told me, oh dear. Well, I hope I'm right. Okay, according to my calculations, it's Diamine Earl Grey, which is an ink I use all the time in my bullet journal. What I'm frantically looking for is my, here it is, just to make sure. Yes, okay, so somehow or another, I determined that these 3-9 were next, and Diamine Earl Grey, or you guys determined with voting, and then I think I drew for these because I needed to know the order. So Diamine Earl Grey will be next, and this has been widely requested as well, so I'll see you back here as soon as life permits with that review. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.